Pennies are small, but their value can be huge. From the famous 1909 SVDB wheat penny to modern-era coins, collectors pay big money for rare 1-cent pieces. People have pulled valuable pennies straight from change without even realizing it. Imagine turning a single cent into hundreds of dollars. Yes, it happens. Let's explore the pennies that can make you rich. When people think of a US 1-cent coin from 2004, most will shrug and imagine the ordinary copper-plated zinc penny that has been around for decades. After all, the Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, and hundreds of billions have been minted. Most of us drop them in jars, lose them in couch cushions, or leave them at the bottom of a car cup holder without a second thought. But here's the twist. Some of these seemingly ordinary 2000 for 1-cent pennies aren't ordinary at all. Some carry minting errors or rare qualities that elevate them from being worth a single cent to a staggering fortune. In fact, certain examples of the 2004 penny have sold for anywhere between $39,000 and $115,000. Imagine that, a single penny with the power to completely change your life. The story of the 2004 penny begins with its design. Like all Lincoln cents of the era, it features the classic bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been a staple of American coinage since the early 20th century, becoming one of the most recognized and longest-running designs in U.S. history. On the reverse, the 2004 penny carries the familiar Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That memorial reverse would remain in place until 2008, after which it was replaced by new designs in 2009 to honor the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth. So at first glance, a 2004 penny looks like every other Lincoln Memorial cent. But to collectors, the details matter, because hidden among the billions of coins struck that year are rare varieties and minting anomalies that stand out dramatically. Errors are where the magic happens. One of the most famous and valuable types of errors that collectors chase is the double die. On a 2004 penny, a double die might show up on the date, the inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust. These doubled elements aren't created after the fact. They're struck into the coin during production, making them part of the original minting process. This makes them genuine rarities, and when authenticated by professional grading services, they can bring astronomical prices. High-grade double-die 2004 pennies have sold for tens of thousands, with pristine uncirculated examples fetching values that push into the $115,000 range. Another category of valuable errors comes from off-center strikes. These are the coins that didn't land properly in the press during minting, resulting in designs that are noticeably shifted. On a 2004 penny, this might mean Lincoln's bust appears shoved to the side, with a crescent-shaped blank portion of the planchet visible. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date is still visible, confirming it's a 2004 issue. Such coins have been auctioned for extraordinary sums, because they combine rarity, visual appeal, and authentication of their year. Then there are the wrong planchet errors, which are among the most eye-catching of all. This is when a penny design is accidentally struck on a blank meant for another coin denomination. Imagine holding a coin that has the Lincoln Memorial design but is the size and weight of a dime or nickel. Collectors treasure these because they are unmistakable anomalies, coins that should never have existed but slipped through quality control at the U.S. Mint. A 2004 penny struck on a dime planchet, for example, would be much lighter and smaller than usual, making it instantly identifiable. These wrong planchet pennies have been known to fetch prices well within that $39,000 to $115,000 range, depending on their grade and visibility of the error. Even coins with subtler mistakes can command incredible value. A filled die error, where dirt or grease clogs part of the die, can leave details missing from the design. On a 2004 penny, this might obscure parts of Lincoln's hair or lettering on the reverse. While not as spectacular as a wrong planchet or dramatic off-center strike, these errors still make the coin unique. And in the collector world, unique often means valuable. But value isn't only about the error itself. Condition is a massive factor. A 2004 penny with an error that has circulated heavily and shows where might still be worth more than face value, but it won't approach the jaw-dropping sums of an uncirculated, mint-condition specimen. That's why collectors and investors turn to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. A coin graded at mint state 65 or higher, especially with a dramatic error, is a potential jackpot. These high-grade coins, with brilliant luster and no signs of wear, have been the ones setting record prices, with sales landing in the $39,000 to $115,000 range. The proof versions of the 2004 penny also add excitement to the hunt. Proof coins, made for collectors, are struck multiple times on specially prepared planchets, giving them sharp detail and a mirror-like finish. Errors on proof coins are extremely rare, since the mint takes extra care during their production. But when an error proof does surface, it becomes an instant treasure. A double die or wrong planchet error in a proof 2004 penny could potentially be one of the most valuable examples known, easily soaring into that six-figure territory. One story often told in coin circles is about a collector who stumbled upon a roll of 2004 pennies from a bank. At first, it seemed like a normal roll of common sense. But upon close inspection, one coin stood out. It had doubling visible on the date. After sending it off for authentication, the coin returned graded as a rare double die, uncirculated and lustrous. At auction, it sold for an amount that completely shocked the collector, tens of thousands of dollars. This story captures the thrill of coin collecting, the possibility that a coin worth $115,000 could be hiding in plain sight among everyday change. Think about how many times you've brushed aside a penny, maybe even left one behind at a store counter because it seemed worthless. But the reality is, if you had taken just a few seconds to look closely, you might have spotted a rarity. The 2004 penny is the perfect example of why collectors encourage everyone to check their coins. With billions in circulation, it might seem like finding a rare error is impossible, but the truth is, these coins have turned up in pocket change, in piggy banks, and in rolls from banks. It only takes one lucky discovery to change a person's financial story forever. Collectors often describe the hunt as part of the fun. Searching through change, examining every detail, comparing known varieties, and learning about errors creates an exciting treasure hunt. And with the possibility of uncovering a coin valued between $39,000 and $115,000, that treasure hunt takes on real-world stakes. For some, finding one of these rare 2004 pennies has been like winning the lottery, except it's all based on patience, knowledge, and a keen eye for detail. The beauty of the 2004 penny story is that it combines history, artistry, and mystery. It's a coin that represents Abraham Lincoln, one of America's greatest leaders, while also offering a chance for discovery that could be life-changing. The ordinary and the extraordinary coexist in this single piece of copper-plated zinc. Most of them will remain ordinary, circulating unnoticed for decades. But for those who stumble upon the extraordinary, the reward can be monumental. So the next time you come across a 2004 penny, don't just toss it aside. Hold it up, look at the details, and see if anything unusual stands out. Check for doubling, study the strike, and feel the weight. Because while it's true that most 2004 pennies are worth just a cent, there are those rare examples, the error coins, the high-grade uncirculated pieces, that are worth anywhere from $39,000 to $115,000. And finding one of those could transform a simple penny into one of the most valuable items you'll ever hold in your hand. The 2008 1-cent penny from the United States might look ordinary to the untrained eye, but in the world of coin collecting, this small copper-colored coin has stories, secrets, and surprises that make it anything but ordinary. Most people who held this coin in their pocket change never thought twice about it. After all, it was just a penny worth a single cent in everyday transactions. But as collectors and historians know, even a penny can carry with it a legacy of design, minting history, and in rare cases, a level of scarcity and uniqueness that can push its value far beyond what anyone might expect. Some rare examples of the 2008 penny, particularly those preserved in perfect condition or showing unique minting errors, have been known to command extraordinary prices at auctions, with values reaching between $34,000 and $94,000. That kind of valuation transforms this small coin into a treasure worth more than its weight in gold. To understand why the 2008 penny has become so interesting to collectors, it's important to look at its background. In 2008, the penny was still struck with the familiar Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse, a design that had been used since 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse continued to feature the iconic portrait of Lincoln himself, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. By 2008, this portrait had already been in use for nearly a century, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The combination of Lincoln's timeless portrait and the Lincoln Memorial had become instantly recognizable to Americans, a design that was not only functional but also symbolic of history, leadership, and national pride. However, 2008 was also a turning point. The following year, in 2009, the U.S. Mint would launch a special series of pennies to celebrate the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent. This meant that the 2008 penny would be one of the very last coins struck with the traditional Lincoln Memorial reverse before the design was changed forever. That fact alone gives the 2008 penny an added layer of historical significance. It represents the end of an era in American coinage. Collectors are always drawn to coins that mark transitions, and the 2008 penny is one such example. But what makes certain 2008 pennies stand out and become worth tens of thousands of dollars comes down to condition, rarity, and minting anomalies. The U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies in 2008 across its facilities in Philadelphia and Denver, with proof coins also struck in San Francisco. With such massive numbers, most of these coins entered circulation and were handled countless times, accumulating scratches, marks, and where that drastically reduced their collector value. Only a very small fraction of 2008 pennies have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, with flawless surfaces, sharp details, and original mint luster. These are the coins that are graded at the very top levels by professional grading services, and those top-graded examples are highly sought after by collectors. Even rarer are the 2008 pennies that display unusual mint errors. Errors occur when something goes wrong in the minting process, such as a die misalignment, a double strike, or improper planchet preparation. In some cases, a penny might be struck off-center, with parts of the design missing or misplaced. In other cases, doubling of letters or numbers can be seen, known as a double die error. Each of these mistakes results in a coin that is unlike any other, and collectors prize such uniqueness. Since errors are typically caught and destroyed during production, the few that escape into circulation become instant rarities. These error coins are often the ones that reach the astonishing price levels, sometimes selling for anywhere between $34,000 and $94,000 when discovered and authenticated. Another factor adding to the value of certain 2008 pennies is the transition moment in which they were produced. Being the last year of the Lincoln Memorial design, collectors place a premium on keeping these coins as part of complete sets. A high-grade 2008 penny is not just a coin. It is the closing chapter of a half-century-long story in American coinage. When paired with the historical anticipation of the 2009 bicentennial issues, it becomes part of a narrative that collectors find irresistible. The sense of owning a piece of that transition has a powerful appeal. The stories of people finding these valuable coins are often as captivating as the coins themselves. Someone might stumble upon a 2008 penny in their change and notice something unusual about it. Maybe the strike looks off, or the coin appears untouched and flawless despite its age. After sending it off for grading, the coin comes back with a certification of a rare error or an exceptionally high grade. Suddenly, what was once worth only a cent is worth tens of thousands of dollars. These moments are what make coin collecting so engaging. It's the thrill of discovery, the possibility that something extraordinary might be hiding in plain sight. Auctions featuring 2008 pennies in top condition or with recognized errors have shown just how much excitement these coins generate. Collectors bid aggressively, knowing that the opportunity to own such a piece doesn't come along often. The combination of rarity, condition, and historical context drives the prices higher and higher until someone finally claims it. When the final hammer falls and the coin is sold for a jaw-dropping price, whether it's $34,000 or $94,000, it's a reminder of how extraordinary the world of numismatics can be. It's also important to think about how the 2008 penny reflects broader themes in collecting. Unlike older coins from the 19th or early 20th centuries, the 2008 penny is relatively modern. That means many people alive today held these coins in their hands without realizing their potential value. For collectors, this accessibility is part of the appeal. It makes the hunt feel more personal, as if anyone could uncover a hidden gem in their change. At the same time, the rarity of top-grade or error examples keeps the market competitive, ensuring that not just any 2008 penny will command extraordinary prices. When looking closely at a 2008 penny, the details of the design can be appreciated in a new way. Lincoln's portrait remains dignified and enduring, while the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse continues to symbolize strength, unity, and reverence for one of America's most important leaders. In high-grade coins, every line of the memorial, every column, and even the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial is crisp and clear. That level of detail reminds us of the craftsmanship and artistry involved in minting even the smallest denominations of currency. As time goes on, the significance of the 2008 penny will likely continue to grow. Being the final year of the Lincoln Memorial design, it marks a historic boundary. Collectors in the future will look back on it as the end of a long and important era, and demand for high-quality examples will only increase. This suggests that the values seen today, between $34,000 and $94,000 for the rarest pieces, may not even be the ceiling. As demand grows and supply remains limited, these coins could become even more valuable. The story of the 2008 1-cent penny reminds us that value is not always about size or denomination. A coin is small and common as a penny can hold within it a wealth of history, artistry, and potential. For those who collect, it is not just about the financial aspect, but also about preserving a tangible piece of American history. The 2008 penny stands as both a reminder of the past and a bridge to the future, marking a turning point in the long story of the Lincoln cent. So the next time you come across a penny, take a closer look. Pay attention to the year, the condition, the details of the design. Because while most pennies are just worth a cent, some, like the rare and extraordinary 2008 examples, can be worth a fortune. The possibility that one might be hiding in plain sight makes collecting exciting, and it's what has turned the 2008 penny into one of the most intriguing modern coins in American numismatics. When you hear stories of them selling for $34,000 to $94,000, it becomes clear that no coin should ever be overlooked, no matter how small it seems. The 2008 penny proves that even the humblest coin can hold an extraordinary story, one worth cherishing and one worth celebrating. When you think of a penny, it's probably the least exciting coin in your pocket. Most of us hardly pay attention to it, sometimes even leaving it behind at a store counter or tossing it into a jar at home without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of those small, copper-colored coins you've brushed aside countless times could actually be worth as much as a luxury car or even a down payment on a house? The 2017 1-cent penny is the perfect example of this. While it looks like the everyday Lincoln penny you see all the time, certain rare varieties and pristine examples of the 2017 penny have fetched prices between $30,000 and $78,000, shocking collectors and casual coin finders alike. Suddenly, that little coin doesn't seem so insignificant anymore. The penny has long been a staple in American coinage, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. By 2017, the Lincoln penny had been circulating for more than a century, with various design changes over the decades. The obverse side still featured the iconic portrait of Lincoln that Americans had grown familiar with, while the reverse displayed the Union shield, a design introduced in 2010 to symbolize Lincoln's role in preserving the United States during the Civil War. On the surface, the 2017 penny doesn't look any different from the millions of others minted that year. And that's exactly what makes stories of rare finds so fascinating. A coin that should be ordinary turns out to be anything but. What makes the 2017 penny so special isn't just the design. It's the rarity of certain varieties, errors, and conditions. The United States Mint produces billions of pennies every year, and mistakes are bound to happen in the process. Most of these mistakes are caught, but every now and then, a few error coins slip through, and those are the ones that collectors eagerly chase. On some 2017 pennies, you'll find dramatic errors like off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, double dies where parts of the lettering or design appear twice, or even coins struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the penny design ended up on a metal blank intended for a different denomination. These are the anomalies that transform a penny from pocket change into a treasure. Then there's the matter of condition. Collectors value coins based on their grade, which measures how much wear or damage they've sustained over time. Most 2017 pennies ended up being tossed around in circulation, developing scratches, discoloration, and wear that make them common and worth only a cent. But a handful were preserved in pristine condition, either because they came straight from mint rolls or were stored carefully by collectors. Coins that grade extremely high, like MS-68 or MS-69, are incredibly rare for modern issues. When one of these near-perfect 2017 pennies comes to auction, collectors know just how difficult it is to find an example that flawless, and they're willing to pay top dollar for it. That's why some of these coins have sold for jaw-dropping prices, ranging anywhere from $30,000 to $78,000. What's amazing about these stories is that rare coins don't always come from hidden treasure chests or locked safes. Sometimes they come from everyday life. There have been stories of collectors and even ordinary people discovering valuable pennies in pocket change, coin rolls from the bank, or jars that had been sitting around for years. Imagine going to your local bank, picking up a roll of pennies, and casually sorting through them, only to realize you're holding a rare 2017 penny worth thousands of dollars. For many collectors, that dream is what keeps them searching and examining every coin they come across. The Lincoln penny itself carries a strong sense of history, which adds to its appeal. Abraham Lincoln was the first real person, not a symbolic figure like Lady Liberty, to be featured on a U.S. coin. Over the decades, his profile has become one of the most recognizable images in American currency. The Union Shield on the reverse side of the 2017 penny ties that image to the idea of national unity and preservation. This historical significance makes the coin more than just a piece of metal. It's a piece of America's story. And when a particular penny from that story ends up being worth tens of thousands of dollars, it becomes even more meaningful. Auction houses have seen firsthand the frenzy that rare 2017 pennies can create. When one of these coins goes up for bidding, collectors from across the country tune in, eager to add such a rarity to their collections. The bidding often starts at a modest price, but as soon as bidders recognize the grade or error, the competition heats up. Prices climb quickly, and the energy in the room becomes electric. By the time the hammer falls, a penny that most people wouldn't think twice about has sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Those dramatic sales are what keep the coin collecting community buzzing with excitement. Of course, rarity and value don't just come from minting mistakes or high grades. Sometimes a coin becomes valuable simply because of demand. Collectors are always chasing certain years, certain designs, or certain conditions, and when demand outpaces supply, prices rise. The 2017 penny happens to be one of those coins where rarity, condition, and collector demand all intersect in a way that creates a perfect storm of value. It's a modern coin with historical significance, and that combination makes it irresistible to many. The broader lesson here is that coins we take for granted can sometimes surprise us. How many people have spent a 2017 penny without giving it a second glance, never realizing it could have been worth $30,000 to $78,000? How many valuable coins are still out there, waiting to be discovered in circulation or sitting in forgotten jars? That sense of possibility is what fuels the hobby of coin collecting. It's not just about the coins themselves. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the chance to uncover something extraordinary where you least expect it. So the next time you're handed change, take a closer look. Don't just pocket that penny and move on. Check the date. Study the details. Look for unusual markings or anything that seems out of the ordinary. Even the most ordinary-looking coin could hold extraordinary value. The 2017 1-cent penny has already proven that even in the modern era, treasures are still being minted, and those treasures can be worth between $30,000 and $78,000. It's a reminder that history, rarity, and value can be hiding in the smallest and simplest of places, sometimes even in the palm of your hand.